Fuadcast, it's back. It's been a while since I've actually filmed a Fuadcast. We've had a bit of time off. We did do 3 episodes, some real good ones. Deshaun from New York, amateur boxer, also works with MTA. We had Tyson Fury's designer, Nav from Claudio Lugli. We also had the main man Chase Steele from the Sync podcast on TikTok. So that was all good content. But today we're attacking it a bit different. I got my man Nathan looking like a bit of a grizzly bear at the moment. The beard's growing, bro. I like it. It looks hard.
I thought I'd try something new. To be honest, I didn't know I had this in me, so I'm actually quite proud of myself.
You look 10 years older with the beard, bro.
Officially part of the beard gang. So yeah.
Is Wick gonna let you keep it, or are you gonna have to shave it all off?
Well, I'm my own boss, innit? So I can do what I want.
I forgot that, to be honest. I forgot about that. So first of all, before we go into it, let the people know what you do. Obviously, I've not said it yet, so you might as well go ahead and sort of introduce what you do.
Yeah. Okay, so my name's Nathan, as Fuad said. I own my own cryotherapy business, and I'm a sports massage therapist as well, and I am located at Kinetics Clinics in Ecclesfield.
What a place, Ecclesfield. What a quiet little area.
Nice, it's a nice place.
It's all right. It's not too bad. You know what? When I first went there, when I went for my first appointment with you, was actually the first time I went there. And it was surprisingly nice and quiet. But yeah, Kinetics Clinic, for the people in Sheffield who don't know what it is, give them an overview, because it's a super awesome place. You got everything under one roof. So yeah, just let the people know what they can sort of get when they come to Kinetics Clinic.
So I basically rent a room out at Kinetics, and Kinetics is a health clinic whereby we literally do everything. We've got a sports therapy team, osteopaths, we've got Pilates instructors, acupuncture, every therapy we've got, you name it, we've got it there. And it's just basically the clinic manager, Gail, the vision for Kinetics was to have everything under one roof. So that was a goal, that was a vision, and every single year she just adds a new member to the team, and then we just keep getting stronger and stronger and moving strength to strength each year. So I joined Kinetics, I think, probably about 2 years now. So I've been there, and best decision I made moving to Kinetics. I've literally found my home.
What's so you mentioned acupuncture, and obviously you do the cryo stuff. What altogether? What is there? So just if you can name them all.
I can name them all, it's a bit hard. So,
putting you on the spot, how much do you know about your workplace, Nathan? Hey,
you put me on the spot. Give
him the plug. You got to give him the plug now.
So we've got Pilates, acupuncture, sports therapy, cryotherapy, osteopathy. So that's the medical side of it, and then we've got psychotherapy as well. And then we started to delve into also some beauty treatment. So we got podiatry, sports podiatry.
You basically have everything finishing with tree.
Yeah, anything with tree, we've got it.
Awesome. Cryo, man. Cryo saved my life. Well, not literally, but oh my God.
Close.
Oh my God, bro. No, honestly. Whenever someone mentions something about recovery and stuff like that, I always, without fail, just so you know I'm a good friend, I always tell them about Cryo. And if they're Sheffield based, I always tell them, you know where to go. You know the vibes.
I know you've always got my back. You don't need to prove
always,
that
bro,
you've got
always.
my back. Yeah, I know it. I know you're my guy, Fuad. I know you're my guy.
I need to know that. I need you to know that. That's where the good friendship base is sort of settled. You know.
It is.
But honestly, so for the people that follow me that don't know, a lot of people will, because I documented freaking everything about it. I dislocated my shoulder about 2 years ago while sparring. Actually, I dislocated it 3 times within boxing. And honestly, one of the worst pains I've had. I ended up getting surgery for it because my... what was the word now? What's the area? Do you remember the area called? What's it called? What did I tear? What's the word for it?
I can't remember, but I know
it's exactly the wall. It's the wall between where the shoulder bone is sort of held, and basically it just went like that 3 times.
Was it the AC joint?
No. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. How can I forget? But anyway, you kind of get the vibe.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people since then. I remember I was actually looking.
I know that I don't expect you to remember because the last appointment we've had has actually been quite a while ago.
Yeah,
now. It's been a hot second.
I was looking at one of the videos though, and yeah, I was just basically reminiscing about that time because I was going through all the videos, looking back to see how far I've come and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was. I'm sure it was somewhere around that AC joint.
Yeah, it was basically the sort of wall, if you want to say, that whole. You watch Joe Rogan. I wish I could pull up. I wish I could get Jamie to pull it up for me, but I don't have a Jamie. So he always has the Jamie guy. Like, Jamie, pull that up. But I can't do that.
In time.
Hold on, I've got my laptop here. I might as well try and find it.
A few more years, you'll be there. You'll be there.
But anyway, I had my operation on that area, and Nathan, I was doing research of how to sort of make that recovery after my operation way faster than what it was, because they gave me like a long time to sort of, you got to do this exercise and move it slowly. I was like, no man, I can't be bothered to do this. I need to find every hack in the book. I researched Cryo. I messaged Nathan and sort of kind of got the gist of it. Went for my first appointment. Mate, it was incredible. So for people that don't know what cryo is specifically, just give them an overview of what the sort of procedure is.
Okay, so yeah, so basically cryotherapy, it uses vaporized liquid nitrogen in order to help heal sports injuries and help with pain management as well. So the thing is with cryotherapy, it's nothing. The concepts, the ideas behind it is nothing new. So it's the same sort of science, same sort of application as using ice. However, it's just a more advanced form of technology. So technology is advanced. This is the new improved icing, icing of 2020. So yeah, that's in simple terms. That's basically what it is. It's ice treatment, an advanced ice treatment.
So let me start off with this then. Why cryo and why that whole procedure? When people say the old method is always the best method. For years upon years, people have been doing ice therapy when it comes to everything from head injuries to actual recovery. We've known athletes doing ice baths. What does cryo specifically differ from those treatments?
So whenever you put cold on an injury, basically what's happening is that area of the body, it's stopping the blood flow to that area. So your body does something which is called vasoconstriction. So when your body vasoconstricts in an area, the blood vessels basically close up and stop to keep that area of the body warm. So what that does is it stops, reduces swelling, like I said, reduces pain, and what happens when it warms up, it goes through something called vasodilation. So the vasodilation, then it sends blood back to that area to help heat up the area and warm it back up, but it brings a fresh supply of oxygenated blood which your body needs for healing. So that's the whole reason why we put cold and ice on injuries. However, the difference between using an ice pack and using vaporized liquid nitrogen, so the cryotherapy that I use, ice packs, ice baths, they only work at the surface tissues. So it's basically, if you think of your skin, you've got the skin on top, and then you've got your nerves, muscles, everything underneath. Icing, ice baths, it's only working on that top layer, and it needs to take a long while to get deeper into those tissues.
So people have to sit on ice baths for longer and apply ice for longer. Yeah,
exactly. But with cryotherapy, what it does is, because it's so cold, it stimulates a response in your brain. So basically, because it's so cold and your skin is cooling at such a rapid temperature, it puts your body into shock. Basically, puts your body into the fight or flight system. Reason because of that is because, like I say, it's rapid cooling at such a cold temperature. Your body thinks it's going into like a fault. It creates like a false sense of hypothermia in the body, which it sends your body into fight or flight system, which then reacts to that to try and help your body survive, help it perform better. The reason why we're going to fight or flight systems, why your body is to help your body survive and perform. So like I said, what that does is then it stimulates cellular response. So from there, it triggers more healing nutrients, more healing proteins down to that injured area, releases chemicals such as epinephrine and norepinephrine, which are natural painkillers. Send those down to the area. Also makes your body aware that an injury is present, so it can help stimulate the healing. And then it just basically, in a nutshell, much more quicker results and much more advanced treatment.
Yeah, so it saves you a lot of time,
Yeah.
a lot of BS, because
Time and
even
results.
though
Time and results.
yeah, time and results, and also with cryo, I don't feel like. I mean, it did definitely shake me up a few times when we were mid conversation. I was like, I can't really talk right now, bro. It's kind of cold, but it's
We have to
nothing
put a
like an
towel
ice
over
bath. Yeah, man. Jeez, I felt like I was getting proper nursed, like I was a little baby because I was shaking, man. But it definitely helps. Because, like, I've tried ice baths before, not even at the level that some people do it at, and it's hard to stay in there. Everything goes numb. It just doesn't feel very nice. Whereas cryo, it's approached differently. Now, you sort of specialize.
It's a weird one, innit? Because I know a lot of people have said sort of even though the cryo is colder in temperature wise, it's a lot more comfortable than getting in an ice bath or putting on an ice pack. And just to give you a little incline on how much more effective it is, you'd have to have, for 3 minutes cryotherapy, you'd have to have an ice pack on for 7 times as long to get the same results.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
How much more beneficial it is, and like I said, it's a lot more comfortable. People are preferring this because I've had all sorts of people come in, like from general public to athletes, and they always say like cryotherapy over ice bath or icing every day, any day.
So, you obviously sort of specialize in localized therapy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got the machine yet. I know you were talking about getting the whole thing.
Yeah.
Don't know if you've invested in that yet, but even localized therapy, for the people that don't know, again, specifically, what is the difference between the full body one and localized? I know it's simply you could say, well, localized is for a specific injury, but wouldn't they be better going into the whole thing? And why should they, if they have a specific injury in one area, go and do the localized one? What's the benefits?
So they've both got pros and cons. For me, personally, I think the localized machine is much better for specific injuries. If you're wanting a quick treatment, quick in and out, and you're wanting to target more areas, so like your whole body, more for recovery, then I'd say use the chamber. But
the chamber, that sounds so dangerous.
Yeah, the chamber. Seems like it needs like what's the movie guy? Do you like? You know what I mean? The guy who does like the cinematic commentaries and like voiceovers.
Like the voiceovers. The guy with the super deep voice.
Yeah,
the chamber. I've got my mic's gonna pick everything up clearly. So, the chamber at night. Wait. The chamber at Cryotherapy Sheffield. Go now for 50% off.
I love it.
I'll do a voiceover for you, to be fair, if you want.
I was gonna say I'm gonna get you to do advertisements.
So we'll do it. We'll sort that out for sure.
Wait, 2 seconds.
Go.
Hello.
Come in.
Yeah. I've got a guest.
Join the Fuadcast.
Do you want to say hello?
Real and raw.
It's the Fuadcast. You're live on the Fuadcast.
The what cat?
Fuadcast.
What's that?
Watch out for it. If you don't know, get to know.
Okay.
Oh, snap. You really put it like that. Goddamn. You put that pressure on me. Goddamn, man. All right.
So, got nice brew.
You know what? I just had a coffee. With the last few podcasts, I've always had like a coffee ready next to me to like enjoy and talk, but we did this too late.
I've got my assistants, you see, so they're just,
Jeez, cryotherapy must be paying well, I need to jump on board. Shit. But yeah,
it's how we're moving now. Level up.
Definitely. We need to get. I told you, man. My studio, by the way, is just literally my bedroom. This is everything in one, bro. Talk about like motivation for myself. I was like, so I still live with my parents and not moved out yet. and I still live. Basically they shoved me into the little room. They're like, you know what? You get that room. I had the second biggest room in the house, but since I had another sibling born, they're like, no, you don't need that. You go into the box room. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, once you're over 18, that's it. Your parents don't rate you no more.
No, they don't rate me at all. But at first I didn't mind it, but now I'm like, well, I want a studio. I want my equipment set up. At first I was moaning and complaining about it, but now we got a little background, a little backdrop. We got the mic stand set up. We got everything on lock. We've got everything on lock.
It's looking good.
Taking inspo from you, mate, from your little setup at Eckersfield.
You need to get your Jamie though. Get your Jamie to. Bring
I do need my Jamie, man, for sure. But I can be my own Jamie. Look, I've got my laptop here, and I'm trying to look. I was trying to look up the thing. It was actually a rotator cuff chair. I don't know how I didn't remember that. But yeah, so let's talk about a few of the benefits that sort of come with cryotherapy. I want to talk about overall. What do you think overall is the biggest benefits apart from like the injury help? What do you think it's helped most people with? What's the number one thing people go to cryo for?
I'd say it's a toss up between surgeries, following surgeries, arthritis, and a lot of muscle strains and ligament
How does it help
strains.
arthritis?
So arthritis, it's actually contradicts a lot of the research on arthritis, because usually say you need to put heat on it, whereas with arthritis, what it does is, again, it's that whole putting the system into shock, entering that fight or flight system to create a response in the body, which allows it to start healing, and then obviously the release of the norepinephrine and epinephrine are natural painkillers. So you've got that, and also what it does is it boosts collagen production. So
what's that? What's collagen?
So basically, collagen is a hormone produced by the body, and it's got a lot of benefits, which, it's got like anti-aging benefits. So what it does in terms of your muscles and your joints, basically all the soft tissues in your body are made up of collagen fibers. So the collagen helps to like reproduce collagen in the body, which then helps strengthen the joints, strengthen the ligaments, strengthen all the damaged tissues, which then helps to regenerate. But it'll only help what is there. With arthritis, you've already lost a lot of that soft tissue and the degeneration in the soft tissues. So what's already there will help strengthen that. It won't put anything back in, but what's there will help boost.
Interesting. Because arthritis is a tricky one. You never think it's sort of a long-term thing. You don't really, once you get it, it's a bit unfortunate. So definitely something like that is key for people to look into, I think, for recovery.
It's one of them things. It's not ultimately, it's not going to cure it, but what it'll do is help manage it and help you live with it a lot better. I've had some really good results with people that have had arthritis for a long while. They've tried all sorts and nothing's worked for them, and then they've had a few sessions, and then it's completely changed their life. So it's literally life-changing stuff, what we do, which is really rewarding because, it's helping people on a daily basis.
One thing we've not actually spoken about, I don't think, and it kind of caught my eye when I was looking down on cryotherapy, looking into cryotherapy even, and there was mention that it may help prevent dementia or Alzheimer's. Now when you speak about arthritis, that's interesting enough how it can help deal with that. But something like preventing dementia and Alzheimer's, like what's the magic behind that?
To be honest, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know on that one. I'd have to look that one up because that's the first I've heard of it. So I will.
Well, this one says while more research is needed to evaluate. So I don't blame you for not knowing this. Actually, it seemed like it's something pretty new. While more research is needed to evaluate the effectiveness of the strategy, it's theorized that the whole body cryotherapy could help prevent Alzheimer's and other types of dementia. It through that this may be an effective treatment because the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory effects of cryotherapy could help combat the inflammatory and oxidative stress responses that occur with Alzheimer's. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that. And we spoke a lot as well whenever I had my appointments. It was almost like a science lesson every week, because we were talking quite deep into it. And I was like, we've never mentioned this, but I don't blame you. It literally says, well, more research is needed to evaluate it.
What I was going to say is, the thing is with cryotherapy, it's still a brand new thing, and still a lot of research is going out there, and I'm learning about it every day. I mean, we did a video in the past, and all the stuff that I can talk to you about today is nothing compared to what I could have spoke to you about when we last did that
we
video.
did a video about a year ago, didn't we?
Yeah, and like my knowledge in that time has just completely changed, and like people can even go and look at it and see the information that I'm reeling off.
I'll put the thumbnail on top of my face. It's still on Viper Sport, so go head over to my sports channel, Viper Sport, and you will find it there. So we did a whole session that day, didn't we? So we did like an example session. That was pretty cool. And you kind of see how that works with local. Actually, the massage as well that you used to do. That was nice. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. Those massages, you know how to do it, bro. On my shoulder, that's one thing. I don't think it was mainly just the cryotherapy. It's how you mixed it with. Because I big up New York City and everything they've got over there. I don't remember. Do you remember me telling you about this when I went to New York? So like, I was in New York during this whole week time. So I had a few sessions with Nathan, and then when I went over to New York for some, I think I was on holiday at the time, and I found a place for cryo. I just really wanted to try out there. They didn't have someone as knowledgeable as you, and obviously you've studied not cryo, but you studied into stuff like this. So the woman that did it, they were super cool, but I think it was more just a business based thing for them. It was like, all right, you come in, you go into the chamber, boom, boom, get out. Like I did both. I did localized and chamber that day, and the localized, they were literally like this, like going over my shoulder. I was like, well, it doesn't feel any different. Like I came out, I was like, I missed Nathan. I want Nathan's treatment. But yeah, when did you learn to sort of implement the massage into it?
Well, for me, I've always been involved in sport. You know, like played football growing up. I always knew I wanted to work in sport, but I never knew what it would be. Literally, I think I started out, I wanted to be a physio, then I wanted to be like a PE teacher, then I went to working like football coaching, and then I ended up circling back around to like doing like the therapy side. So I've kind of always had that, you know, that passion in me for the sport and the health and the therapy work. So when we actually started training up, where I trained, they said like we needed to massage the area after every treatment to help it warm back up, help that circulate the blood flow, help stimulate the lymphatic drainage system as well. So from that, getting that little bit of knowledge during the training, I decided that I was going to go and do my sports massage therapy training, and then pick that up, and then from there just getting better and better as a therapist each day. And just kind of put my all into that one skill, and now I've started implementing the two. I'd say like when I first started, I was mainly cryotherapy, all about cryotherapy, and now I'm more of a therapist first. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm bringing the cryotherapy into my therapy work now, rather than being all cryotherapy. So I've like just broadened my skills, broadened my horizons, and didn't want to sort of like limit myself or limit my skill set. So now I'm broadening myself. It's become a lot. I've seen much better results for the clients, and then obviously for the growth of my business as well.
Look at the clever clog we've got on our hands here, eh? He knows everything, doesn't he?
Brain bucks.
All right, brain bucks. Bit of personal background in cryo, like you just mentioned. It's a good bounce off to go from there. What's the biggest sort of injury you've dealt with? It doesn't even have to be sport injury. It might even be actual someone, you know, with any sort of issue that they're dealing with that you've sort of helped.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's time to shine, boy.
Time to shine. ACL injuries. Worked on a lot.
Those are nasty. ACL injuries are nasty, aren't they? They're hard to recover from.
Yeah, it's usually
they ruin a lot of sports people's careers.
It is. But the thing is with cryo, it's good for like, you know, pre-injury and not pre-injury, but it's good for like the acute stage of injury and like the chronic stage of injury. So like the beginning stage and the after stage. So what with like the surgery stuff, it helps to like reduce the swelling so people can get the surgery quicker and then after they've had the surgery, it helps them with that healing process afterwards. So I've had that. Frozen shoulders. That was a good one. Thing with frozen shoulder though, it takes a while. That was like one of the big ones. Hardest as well because it takes a while.
Do they get irritated? Do people get irritated? Do you have to kind of keep them on track?
I think I get more irritated than them because obviously it's like it's my job, and it's my job to kind of like help them get to that point. So when I'm not seeing results, I get really frustrated, and I'm like, like, what more can I do for this person? But I feel like usually a lot of people are cool with it. The best thing is when people come in with no expectations, because when you've got no expectations, it's like it's every little minimal improvement is an improvement. You know what I mean? But when people expect a lot, that's what makes it a lot harder. And I think when people expect a lot, you put a lot more pressure on yourself.
For sure.
So it's kind of taking yourself away from that and making yourself realize that, like, you know, it's your job to help facilitate the healing and not actually heal them. Because as I've learned that as I've got better as a therapist, as I've done more courses, you know, you're there to guide your client and not do all the work yourself. I always like to say it's like a 60-40 split. 40% is down to you as the therapist, and then 60 is down to the client. And that's because once they leave the room, there's nothing more I can do. I see him for about an hour session every 2 weeks. So, let's say, and once they leave the room, it's like up to them to, you know, make sure they maintain with the exercises, maintain that they don't do anything strenuous that further aggravate the injury. You can always tell who's done the work and who hasn't. But I feel like those that don't do that extra little bit, it kind of you feel that pressure on yourself, and it comes back on you, and you think like, why is it not working, or why is it not improving? And it is literally because on their side.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. So I don't know if this is an actual debate, but I thought I'd bring it up. I've heard people sometimes compare cryo to something that's completely on the other side of the spectrum of recovery and health and wellness. Is a sauna. Now, sauna is known for, you know, plenty of other things, but it's a bit more proven in terms of not so much always recovery, but for health and well-being, it's always been up there now. It's kind of established, as you want to say. Is there a real argument between the two, or are they just literally the complete? Because in my opinion, they're complete two different things.
A sauna is in like a heat sauna.
Heat sauna, yeah.
Yeah. The way I see it is, there's so many different therapists, there's so many different therapies out there, and I feel like every single one has its place. Yeah. One therapy might work better for someone, and someone might prefer a different therapy. So it's I don't really see it as like competition. You know, I know cryotherapy has a lot of benefits, the same way as like a sauna does, or acupuncture, or whatever therapist you choose to see. We've all got our strengths, we've all got our weaknesses. So I don't think it's kind of fair to say one's better than the other. I think every single therapist and treatment has its place in helping heal and facilitate an injury. It's just, you've just got to find the right one for you.
For sure. What was I going to say now? Completely. I was going to say red versus blue team. That's what it is. It's the derby, isn't it? Red v blue, hot v cold. Yeah. You go for the cold team. Go for the blue team. That's
cold team always, man.
Cold team.
Sub-zero, isn't it?
That's the way. One more on the recovery side then, which is nothing to do physically, but mental health. People say that it kind of it can help with like mood swings and just treat people sort of with anxiety and stuff like that. Have you experienced, I should say, anything along the sides of that, or do you know any depth of how it can help people with stress?
So on terms of that, basically what happens is, it's on what the treatment does is it helps to release endorphins. So with endorphins, that's a feel-good hormone. You release endorphin whenever you do something that's pleasurable. You release endorphins. So like when you do exercise, you release endorphins. So this is that feel-good factor that helps with the mental well-being. And if you've ever had a cryotherapy treatment, once it's finished, you just feel amazing afterwards. I've been in the chamber as well. When you come out of the chamber, it's even better.
The chamber's a battle, though, man. The chamber is a battle.
Chamber is tough.
It's a mental battle, because you're like, I remember when I went in there and they were trying to talk to me. They're like, "Oh, you like it?" I was like, I don't want to talk.
So I first went in one when I was in Manchester. So like the company where we bought the machine off, they had one in Manchester. So we did like a launch party, went in, and I got in the chamber. And literally within like the first 10 seconds, I was like, what? I was like, well, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do it. And he only did it for 3 minutes or so. And
If you've ever been in like a walk-in freezer, it's 10 times worse than that. Put it like that.
Oh man. The way I felt of it was like a freezing winter morning,
And you're
4,
naked.
5 a.m. You're naked, and you're waiting for the bus, and you're just there like waiting for this bus to come. That's why
It's worse as the as the sort of air gets higher and higher, and it's like when it's up to that point, and you're like it's attacking your head now, and you're like, okay, I need to stay calm. Do you think anyone's ever like sort of fainted from those situations?
Not that I know of, but I can imagine. I can see.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I like literally as soon as it happened, I wanted to get out, and I saw, I was like, I can't take it, and then I got to a point, like doing a little bit of dance and. And then,
people start shadowboxing. Boxers are always
wow.
boxers are always shadowboxing in it. They're like doing all the Ryan Garcia stuff.
Yeah. So that's really good in the chamber.
So there you have it. Cryotherapy. If you didn't know, get to know, as my guy said earlier. Definitely, I highly recommend it. Like, not even just saying it because we got the main cryo guy in the cut right now, but I'm genuinely saying it, or I wouldn't even bother doing this episode. The amount it helped me to recover was incredible, and from the stories I've heard and the research I've done, if you've got any sort of injury, muscular, and now today we find out about if you've got arthritis, if you've got what we've both found out today about the Alzheimer's and dementia stuff as well. There's a lot. It's for everyone. And again, it doesn't have to be the whole body. You don't have to do the chamber. If you're young and fit and you're brave enough, I really would recommend it because it feels awesome. But even localized helps so much. So big up, Nathan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if you're not injured as well, come check it out, because one thing I always say is prevention's better than cure.
Yeah.
So
it's a good way of putting it.
If you tackle a problem before it's a problem, then you can sort it out like that. Don't leave it too late before you start checking out your injuries and getting yourself checked out. So
the man's a businessman. He knows how to sell his business. God damn.
I told you, I've been developing my skills over these years.
I'm impressed because I don't even have an injury right now, but I want to come back and get it for no reason. But I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much. Make sure to follow. Anytime. Make sure to follow Nathan on Instagram, and also the business page, which will be in the bio, in the link in bio. In the link in bio. Yeah. Come on, I should know this stuff. I'm not smooth with it. What's going on today? I've done too much filming today, but yeah, everything's located down below. Any last words for the people watching? I think your cat wants to say hello.
Yeah, my cat's want to come and say hello.
Oh.
So yeah, like what I said, follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We've got YouTube as well. I'm trying to get big on that. So follow us on those platforms. Yeah, if you really want to check out cryotherapy, if you've got any injuries, any problems, come check us out. Or if you need just some advice, just drop us a message, and I'll see what I can do for you.
Awesome. Well, that's it, guys. That's all for this episode, as Nathan's cat tries to intrigue Leah and take over the whole episode for sure.
Take over, man.
Well, yeah, she wants to be on it. She wants to feature. It's a she, right?
Yeah. Hijack the show, man. Just hijack the show.